I love the horror genre, and when you can infuse werewolves with a murder mystery, I'm sold. Count me in. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today I'm going to be discussing Werewolves Within, and of course this is about a snowstorm that traps town residents together inside the local inn, where newly arrived forest ranger Finn and the postal worker Cecile must try to keep the peace and uncover the truth behind the mysterious creature, which is a werewolf, that has begun terrorizing the community. Now this is of course distributed by IFC, who always puts out these really unique independent films, and for me, I love werewolves so much. I don't think we get enough of these. I got to see this cool werewolf film earlier this year at Sundance, which is great, and I'll have a review out later this year when that finally premieres. But then, you know, I get the trailer for this pops up in my inbox a couple days ago after E3, and I was like, this seems interesting. Got the screener, reviewing it now, and this was a little charming film. It's quite delightful. It's different than you would honestly expect it to be, because the trailer very much sells what this film is. It is a flat-out whodunit mystery, but within a werewolf. And back in the day, if you ever played the game Mafia of trying to figure out who the Mafia member is with your friends, there's a version of that, but it's werewolf. This kind of reminded me of that, but it's fun because it very much has, and this is the best way that you can really compare a murder mystery or a whodunit, is trying to guess and figure out who it is all along. And the way that this film plays out when it's mystery, by the time it ends, I'm like, all right, I kind of knew where that was going. But even then, it took me through these ways where it hints at clues, gives different perspectives to where it could be that person, it could be that person, it could be this. Is there even an actual werewolf out there? And it plays that mystery up to really a nice sense of it all, to where I sat there going, all right, I actually really dig this. And you actually feel like you're in the ranger's shoes trying to figure out who is the murderer in here. And I love that. I love when a whodunit can do that perfectly. Pretty much the setting up of this entire film, it really much establishes the tone very early on, thankfully, because this isn't just an eccentric and quirky film. It's honestly crazy and batshit wild at times. Some of the dialogue and all the characters in here very much play up to what this is and how fun this could be. You could have easily done this in a more serious tone, but I feel like horror films play off that seriousness so much, and it was just a breath of fresh air seeing a comedy like this really infuse this tone, but make it work out in just such a wonderful way. I think a lot of that works because, again, like I mentioned, a lot of the characters are amped up to 100 and play off that, but that's because of the actors. Wonderful actors in here. Two in particular that really stood out to me was Sam Richardson, the main character Finn, who's just great. I love this guy in the way that he pops up in certain roles here and there, and here he comes to play, as well as Milana Vayntrub, who plays Cecile. I loved her. She was so charming and delightful, and I really love where they ended up taking her character by the end, because again, it added to the entire film overall. Really much, again, every single person in here does a great job, and they get some of the best character actors to truly portray in this film and bring the mystery to life. I love, again, how it just completely continues to become absurd and over the top, and it plays to its knowledge of what it's supposed to be. It never tries to go down any other avenue of trying to be too serious or too emotional. It's just trying to have a good time. And when you're going to see a film, like, sometimes you just need that when it comes to a horror comedy. But I love because this is very well made. It's not cheaply made where you're laughing at some of the dumb things or the dumb elements. This is a film with a substantial, nice little budget that works to its T. Again, the werewolf element of it all was a lot of fun, but I think the thing that really works in this movie is the whodunit mystery, and the fact that it's just framed instead of like, oh, who's the murderer? No, you're trying to figure out, well, who's the werewolf in here? And I really ate that up. When it does come down to cons, I don't find too many in here. I think it really just comes down to the last third act of this. While still fun, again, I found the reveal where I figured it out pretty early on in the middle of it, where I still wanted to kind of follow along with that mystery, and it never has that big, oh, didn't see that coming type thing, and I really do miss that from whodunits. Even some recent memory of some of the ones that have come across, which have all been really good so far, I've still figured out the mystery quite interestingly, and I want that one to really be like, oh, didn't see that. Even then, Werewolves Within is an absolute delight. If you're looking for a charming, eccentric, absurd, and out-of-this-world film that just fits really well inside the horror genre, you're going to eat this up. Great performances, great little, like, side werewolf story that I don't think we've seen something like this before. I absolutely really enjoyed this one, so with all that said, I'm going to give Werewolves Within a B. Guys, let me know down below what your guys' thoughts are. Have you guys been looking forward to this movie? Have you not? Have you even heard about it yet? Well, let's discuss it all down there. If it wasn't for a werewolf, which monster would you have liked to have seen pop in here? Maybe some Dracula, maybe some vampires. That could have been pretty cool in there. But I'm really curious to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. So thank you once again for clicking on this. Hit that like and subscribe button. Head on over to Sam's Fun Films on how to see films early. And of course, it's a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters. Because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. So of course, until next time, stay classy.